Alright guys, so finally here it is, the 30 caliber bullet dropping die. I had a lot of emails requesting this caliber specifically and wanting it to be universal. It took me quite a long time to develop this thing and work out all the kinks and bugs and get this thing to work actually reliable. Now I got this thing to work from everything from a 327 Federal mag, even a Toke Rev round, all the way up to a 30-06. It is 3D printed in nylon, so there's actually quite a bit of strength involved even though it is plastic. Actually, this thing has crushed a couple of 223 cases with this press. So I'll show you guys the ins and outs of this die setup and basically what you get, and also show you guys how functional this thing is. Like I said, it is universal and it works with a plethora of different style bullets. Everything from a 303 diameter projectile all the way up to a 313.5 inch projectile, cast lead or full metal jacket. Alright, so included with the purchase of the die, you'll get a plexiglass tube as well as a funnel. This is a 1/2 inch tube and by 6 inches. You also get the die and lock ring that is 3D printed. Now these are 3D printed in nylon, like I said, so there is quite a bit of strength. And the die itself is adjustable. It utilizes two 4mm detent balls that have 3 positions. Basically with those 3 positions, it will accommodate the different lengths and profiles of 30 caliber projectiles. But I found that utilizing position number 1, which would be the lowest detent, actually works quite well for a lot of projectiles. But just in case you get an oddball projectile that has a long bearing surface, I'll show you guys basically how to change this up. So taking the die, removing the 2 rubber bands, you remove the rubber bands and be careful basically pulling the inner tube out. Like I said, there's 2 very small 4mm detent balls. They'll fall out right in your hand right when you pull out the die, roughly 3/4 of the way out, as you can see here. So don't lose those. Now the inner tube has, like I said, 3 positions for detents. Position number 1 will be the lowest. I found this to work very well for many 30 caliber projectiles, but if you do need to move it up, position number 2 will help out for those projectiles that have a longer bearing surface. And if you're using pistol calibers like the Toke Rev or 327 Federal mag, position 3 would be what you want to use. So depending on what you're doing, on whatever cartridge you're utilizing, make sure you use the proper position. Insert the 4mm ball, make sure you capture it with your thumb or something, that way you don't lose it. Go ahead, squeeze it together and slide it into the die as so. Insert your rubber bands and you're good to go. So this die actually has a guided funnel. It has a 35-degree shoulder to accommodate a majority of cartridges with a 35-degree shoulder. For instance, the 308 or 30-06, so this sits very flush and very nice. So the outside neck diameter will sit right inside the inner tube and be very concentric, and that way when you push the cartridge up, it's not moving around or you have basically a chance of it breaking. But basically this funnel here is to guide the cartridge up into the die itself and get it centered. That way you can drop your projectile. Now setting this die up is very simple. I'll show you guys. There's basically 2 ways to set this die up for anything pistol or short action, which means 308 cartridges. Setting this die up is simple as raising the ram all the way up and then screwing the die until the outer body touches the shell holder. Now the inner body will touch the shell holder first, but like I said, you want the outer body to touch. So basically keep screwing it all the way down until you feel it just grab, and then back it out 1 full revolution and lock down your lock ring. Obviously I don't have one on here yet, just for demonstration purposes. Get your drop tube, put the funnel on, insert the drop tube. And to show you guys the capability of this die, like I said, it will accommodate a different plethora of bullet profiles. We have full metal jackets and cast lead bullets. So let's go ahead and load up this drop tube and show you guys how this thing works and how universal this thing actually does perform. Alright, we'll start off with a typical 308 cartridge. Number 2 shell holder. Let's see what we got. Alright, that's in there. The Hornady 168 ELD. That was a plain base. Obviously the case isn't flared, so that fell out. But plain base, NOE gas checked. 175 grain projectile. This is a NOE HTC 135 grain plain base, gas checked. We got a big honkin' Burger 200.2 grain projectile. I love this for the 308. This works very well. Kind of a VLD style bullet, so keep in mind that this is a very pointy bullet. The Lee 230 grain projectile, cast lead. This is usually shot in a 300 blackout. We got a 180 grain Sierra Game King, a little 125 grain Lyman bullet, and we have a 208 grain Hornady ELD. That seems to be the last of it. The only thing different between setting this up for the short action versus the long action, for instance the 30-06, with the die screwed in all the way, touching the shell holder, the outer body, all you got to do is basically back this thing out 5 full revolutions. So 5 turns will back this out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And like I said, I don't have a lock ring, but just for demonstration purposes, we'll go ahead and use the 30-06 cartridge. Alright, so that's fully loaded. Different style projectiles. Let's see what this thing does. First up, it's like the Burger. Got the NOE HTC bullet. That's in there. Gas check got stuck. Let's use another 30-06 cartridge here. Another HTC bullet. That Lee 230 grain bullet. 208 grain ELD. Got the NOE 175 flat point. 168 ELD. And the little Lyman 135 grain. And that was it. So as you can tell, this die works very well universally for 30 caliber. Everything from, like I said, a small caliber 327 Federal mag. I just don't have those cartridges anymore. I gave them back, but it does work very well. So let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment below. Slap that like button. If you guys have a caliber suggestion, let me know. Put a request in. I'm basically going over making these things, going through calibers that are requested by many folks by popularity. Well folks, this will be available on my website at dpgunworks.com. Included will be the die itself, a few spare rubber bands, the plexiglass tube and funnel, and as you can tell, it'll be in red or black. So depending on what filament that I have, like I said, these are printed in nylon. You'll be sent either a red die or a black die, and included as well is a 3D printed lock ring. If you have the double alpha bullet feeding assembly or setup, or even made your own, this really helps out get some progressive press and loading some ammunition very fast. Well folks, that's all I got. As always, stay safe. I'll catch y'all in the next video.